Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and good Shabbos. It is a beautiful evening here in Huntington. The sky is blue, the sun is out, some clouds in the sky, but a nice breeze as I was walking here. So it is absolutely stunning. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. I feel like Goldilocks. And it's the last Shabbos before the new year. Parashat Nitzavim is close to the end of the Torah as well. And so this is the last Shabbos before Yantif, or that's a nice Yiddish word for Yom Tov, right? A good day is what the Hebrew means, a good day. And so we're almost through the month of Elul, almost through the Torah, and almost finished with this year. So for this last Shabbat, and we're going to send it off the way we have all the other Shabbatot this year. We're going to begin by benching Licht, and I have Sam here this evening to bench Licht, page 2. But before that, an English reading.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our own lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Sam. All right, let's continue with responsive reading. You'll find it on page 9. Page 9 at the top. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, remembering that justice is our duty and the good of the world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, a day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming the Shabbat, literally receiving the Shabbat. You'll know the word Kabbalah is another word for Jewish mysticism, and that means that which is received, right? It is taught from one person to another. One person receives the Kabbalah from another, so one gets the reception. And we're on page 20 with Lecha Dodi. Speaking of the mystics, coming to us from the mystical city of Tzfat. And let's do verses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. 1 through 5, 8, and 9, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'melcha, ki mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nehesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, Kumitzei mitoch afecha, Rav lahak shevet b'yemhecha b'cha, v'hu yachamol alaychem la, lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela, Ignahari me'afar kumi, Livshi bigdei tifartei chami, Al yad ben Yishai beit lachmi, Korva el nafshi ge'ala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela, Hitoreri, Kiva ore kumi uri, shirdaberi, Kvod Adonai alayich nigla, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Yamin usmol, tifrotzi, V'et Adonai taritzi, al yadish ben partzi, v'nismecha v'nagila, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabila, boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uvsola, Toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabila. Page 22, one of the special psalms for Kabbalat Shabbat, and a special psalm in general is Psalm 92, which is the psalm for Shabbat. And we'll read the outdented paragraph in English and then come back for Tzaddik Katamar. A song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzaddik Katamar Yifrach, Erez Balvanon, Yihiske shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yahafrichu o jenuvun b'seiva Yeshemim vera'ananim yihiyu lehagid ki ashar Adonai tzori velo havlatabo. Page 24. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. We've welcomed the Shabbat. The Shabbat is with us. Page 145 will begin the Arvit service, the evening service for Shabbat. Yitkadahal v'yitkada shemei rabbah v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei b'cha hayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bahagala u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam lo me'omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudisha berichu le'la min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Dahamiram v'yama v'yimeru amen. Page 146, the formal call to evening worship, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Page 147, let's read responsively. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom.
They fall the same in succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures.
Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofteinu uv'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu v'yorech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam v'layla yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu li'olamim baruch atah Adonai ohev amho Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol vavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol miodecha. V'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom ha'levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam liot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 151. We will read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a power of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness of which our grasp is in perfection will out.
Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
We grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and then, so we celebrate this power that makes us freedom.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nohora tehilo, osef ele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokeyam lifnei Moshe, ze eli anu v'amruhu, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, uga'alom yet chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, gal Yisrael. Page 153, Hashkivenu, asking God to protect us in the evening when we are most vulnerable. And we'll sing the top two lines together, and then we'll join together in the English. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechayim. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 154, verses from the book of Shemot, from the book of Exodus, reminding us to observe Shabbat. Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, Shabbat. La'asot et ha'shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Page 155 will begin the center piece of the evening service, the Amidah. 155, 156, and 157 will chant together, and then we'll continue silently through the end, 158 through 167. You can chant along with us, read the English or the Hebrew, or offer up your own silent prayer during the Amidah. We begin on 155. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Le'imahot, Umevi Goel Lifnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Yezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Metim Atah L'Hoshia, Morid Hatahal, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye Metim B'Rachamim Rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim, umatir hasurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al givurot, umidam melach, Melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, meneman atah l'chayot metim, baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Still completing your Amidah, please continue at your own pace. We're going to continue in the English in the middle of page 160 together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 163, at the top, a little bit of hoda'ah, a little bit of gratitude. Lots to be grateful for this past week and for this coming week. Rosh Hashanah, New Year, a time to start fresh. A brand new slate, as it were. And Mom and Cliff are visiting, so you won't be seeing their Shabbat Shalom on the message board because they're actually here. So I get to have them for Shabbat. So, and Yom Tif. So there you have it. Lots to be grateful for. Page 163, let's read responsibly. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength of the world, our hearts and hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
Page 164, we'll close out the Amidah with a prayer for peace. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Dito be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol eit ubechol sha'a bishlomecha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Near the bottom, praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivorech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. We're going to continue with the Mishibara, the prayer for healing. If you have anybody who needs a little bit of extra healing this weekend, keep them in your thoughts and close to your heart. We are in the middle of page 253. Mishibara avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishibara imoteinu mikor habracha le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Page 258 and 259, we'll read together prayers for our community. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer in support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness, to untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, yishlayu ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Smichat Ge'ulatenu, Hagein Aleha B'yavrat Chastecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Urecha V'amitcha L'Rosheha Sareha V'yoetzeha, V'takneim B'eitzah Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'nomar Amen. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos on this last Shabbat of 5781. 5781? 5781. Yep. Last Shabbos. It's been 52. 52 since last year. Seems like it was just the high holidays. It seems like it. But they always seem to show up quicker each and every year. But this week's parsha is Nitzavim, and as all of the parshiot in the book of Devarim, Moshe continues his speeches to Bnei Yisrael just before they enter the land. Right? This is Moshe's swan song in a way, Moshe's last lecture, right? And he reminds them that God is establishing a brit, a covenant with them, and through them, right? It's not just these people who heard, or the people who heard the pronouncements on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai, but it's all subsequent generations are part of this brit. And God is fulfilling the promise made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that God will deliver them to the land and be their God. But the covenant will last only as long, right? A covenant is a contract between two parties, and it will last only as long as Bnei Yisrael doesn't revert to idol worship. And in the book of Devarim, in the book of Deuteronomy, that is a huge concern for the author, this idea of idol worshiping. And the moment we slide back and we start to worship idols, plagues, disease, and devastation will land upon us. But Moshe promises that it won't stay that way, right? Even a little bit of what we call tshuva, even a little bit of a return, right? That idea of for the high holidays. And it's no coincidence that we read this parsha right before the high holidays. where Moshe says, if you return, if you come back to God, God will give you another chance. And God will give us multiple chances, right? And that's the whole idea of tshuva, is to turn away from bad behavior and go back and kind of retrace your steps and try to get back on the right path. And so tshuva is often called repentance, which is too much of a Christian term for me. It's not even really close to what the Hebrew means. Well, we adopt all sorts of terms that really don't fit the religion, but we use them anyway. But I don't like repentance because it's return. It's an action that we're doing, right? We're not simply just thinking about it, but we're taking steps to rectify it. And that's what Moshe is saying here. You can take steps to rectify any bad behavior, and God will welcome you back. Moshe then goes into a very, very famous set of verses in which he says that the Torah is lo shabayim hi, lo bashamayim hi, right? The Torah is not in heaven, that somebody would have to go there to get it and bring it back. The Torah is not across the seas, that somebody would have to go and get it and bring it back. That it's not on top of a mountain where somebody would have to go and get it and bring it back. No, it's very close. It's right here. It's in our hearts and in our mouths. All right. So the law is part of us. It's an integral part of who we are as Jews. And so you don't have to go searching for it. You don't have to go to some ashram. You don't have to find a yogi or a guru who is going to tell you what to do. You have that capability in yourself. And then towards the end, Moshe implores them. He says, Haidoti bachem hayom et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. He says, I call upon this day to witness against you, or to witness to you, the heavens and the earth. Hachayim v'hamavet, life and death, natati lifnechem, life and death I place before you. Habracha v'haklala, the blessings and the curse. Uvacharta b'chaim, choose life. Right? All sorts of choices we can make, right? And choices are neither good or bad, but they have consequences. Every choice has a consequence, and it could be a good consequence or a bad consequence, but there are consequences to our actions. And what Moshe is saying to the children of Israel, he's imploring them at the end of his life, make the right choices. Make the right choices. I've given you your history. I've told you all the mistakes that we've made along the way. Don't make those mistakes again. Choose life. Bachar b'chayim, right? Choose life. Choices have consequences. Choose the ones that are going to give you life. Choose the ones that are going to move you forward. Don't wallow in the past. Don't cry, well, they've always done it this way. Don't do that. Move forward. Bachar b'chayim. Choose life. Life means going forward. And that's what we think about as we move into the high holidays. Moving forward. Going forward. And that's your Torah portion in a nutshell. So a number of years ago, I had the great opportunity to be the driver for a scholar in residence who was at my shul, and her name is Deborah Lipstadt. And she is a professor of religion, professor of Jewish studies. She's got a whole bunch of titles, and she's at Emory. She's at Emory, and she's a historian, and she's written a number of books, most notably on anti-Semitism. And one of her claims to fame is that she was actually sued by a Holocaust denier in England, and she had to prove that she didn't slander him. In England, it's a little bit different. If you call somebody an anti-Semite, they can sue you and say, prove it. And so she did. She proved it. And they made a movie of that part of her life called Denial. And it starred Rachel Weisz, and it was a really good movie. But Deborah Lipstadt is a lovely human being. And she told me of a time where she was teaching a Jewish studies class. and she was talking about the Yamim Noraim, right? The high holidays. And she called them the days of awe and wonder. And that's a nice way of translating the high holidays, the days of awe and wonder. And she looked down at a student's notebook and saw that he had written days, D-A-Z-E, of awe, A-H-H, and wonder. All right, the days of awe and wonder. And, you know, I thought a lot about that, right? D-A-Y-S is how we would say days of awe, A-W-E, but he heard days, like to be in a daze, and then that like, right? And so the high holidays, just thinking about the high holidays can make our eyes glaze over, right? Can put us in a daze. There's so much to do. There's so much that we have to think about. There's so many moving parts. The machzor is so long. It can become very, very daunting. And it can put you into a daze, right? Because you just get overwhelmed. And so I think that's what that student was thinking. But we all fall into a daze too when we really start to think about what's going to happen during the high holidays. It's so long. It's so complicated. There's so many different prayers. What do I focus on? What do I do? What don't I do? We're overwhelmed and overloaded, right? We're going into some of the most important days of the year, and we're tired. We're just from thinking about them. And then, of course, there are the times during the services that we zone out, right? We take a pausa, we take a break, we shut down, and we just kind of sit there and stare out, right? So we're in another kind of daze, right? But there's so much to digest for the high holidays. These big questions, right? What am I going to do with this new year? How am I going to improve what I did last year? What am I going to do going forward? Right? We're trying to answer these. We're trying to think about these. We're trying to think deep thoughts, right? We're standing in the presence. Literally, the rabbis say we are in the presence of God. This is the closest we get to God at any time of the year. It's one of those thin spaces, right? Where the distance between us and the divine is minuscule, right? We are in that presence, and we're trying to take it all in. And it's easy to fall into a daze, right? And it seems like it's too much. The high holidays are too much. Even though Rosh Hashanah is 2 days, right? It's too much. It should be 4 days. And even if it were 4 days, it wouldn't be enough. And if it were 6 days, it wouldn't be enough, right? It is a very important time, and we miss a lot of it because we fall into a daze. But that's only one part of it, the daze part. And I even as a rabbi, there's that D-A-Z-E part even for me, right? Where it's just too much and you zone out for a moment. You let your mind wander. It's almost like a meditation. But then something clicks and you have that that not the A-W-E, but the A-H-H, right? Where it clicks and you make a connection and we get it. Right? We get the point of the high holidays. We get the fact that we didn't do well last year, and we figure out how to do it. And we figure out how to move forward. And you can't pinpoint every year that it's going to happen at the same time because we're different people each year. But every year there's going to be that moment where everything makes sense. And you can see clearly. And it might just be one thing. It might be one answer that you were thinking about. It might be one insight, and it makes it all worth it. Might be more. It might be a whole bunch of insights that you have. You might not be able to keep track of them all, right? But they will be there, and it's that moment of have you come out of the daze? It all comes together, and we get it. We figure it all out. We have the secret sauce. But the idea is that, so why is it so difficult? Why doesn't it just all happen? Why don't, and then we sit there and we think, why don't we get this sooner? Why wasn't it clear then? Why did I have to sit here? Why did I have to go through the high holiday period to get this insight? We weren't ready for it. You need to be prepared. It can fall in place, but you have to be ready. And part of that is entering into the high holidays, the days of awe and wonder, the Yamim Noraim, so that we can get it. We figure it out. That's for me, that's the meaning, or one of the meanings of the days of awe and wonder. And spell days however you want, right? So may the days of awe and wonder for all of us lead us to many more days where we feel awe and a sense of wonder. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
Sam, it's a special time. It's a particular time. Could you remind me?
Kiddush.
It's Kiddush time. Yes, it is. Time for Kiddush. Friday night Kiddush starts with Vayachulu, verses from the book of Genesis, from Bereshit. All right. Vayehi erev vayehi boker yom hashishi vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh oto Kivo Shavat Mikol Melachto Asher Bara Elohim La'asot Savri Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Borei Peri Hagafen Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav V'ratzavanu V'Shabbat Kodsho V'ahava u'ratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh zecher letziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. Page 282, Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula liyotzeh reshit, shelo asanu kagoye ha'ratzot, velo samanu mishpachot ha'adam Shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, she'ulot shamayim v'yoser haaretz, Umosha v'karo b'shamayim imahal, u'shchinatu zo, v'gov hei meromim, Hu Eloheinu einod, Emet Malkeinu Efesulato, Kakatu Betorato, Yadata Hayom Vehashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, Vashamayim Mimal, V'al haaretz, mitachat eino. Kagatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz. V'yom hahu, Yihyeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. Since we are still in the month of Elul and will continue actually through Hoshana Rabbah, we have Psalm 27, one of my favorite psalms. It's an amazing psalm. King David, if you like, or whomever wrote Psalm 27, really understood what it was like to be just tired and frustrated. And the imagery, unfortunately, I've not yet found a translation that does the psalm justice, because here where it says, when evildoers draw near to slander me, that is that's a Disney kind of translation, where the Hebrew is actually mereim le'echol et besari, that wicked ones come to eat my flesh, right? Quite different from people coming to slander me, right? The Hebrew is very visceral. It is very raw and emotional, and it's a beautiful psalm. It's just a beautiful psalm. It's a beautiful psalm, and we read it during the month of Elul, all the way through the high holidays to Hoshana Rabbah. And so we have photocopies here, and we'll read responsively. Adonai is my light and my help, whom shall I fear? Adonai is the strength of my life, whom shall I dread?
When evildoers draw near to slander me, when foes threaten, they stumble and fall. Though armies be arrayed against me, I have no fear. Though wars threaten, I remain steadfast in my faith.
One thing I ask of Adonai, for this I yearn, to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold God's beauty, to pray in God's sanctuary.
Hiding me in your shrine, safe from peril, God will shelter me beyond the reach of disaster, and will raise me up high above my enemies.
I will bring God offerings with shouts of joy, singing, chanting praise to Adonai.
Adonai, hear my voice when I call. Be gracious to me and answer. It is you whom I seek, says my heart. It's your presence that I seek, Adonai.
Do not hide from me. Do not reject your servant. You have always been my help. Do not abandon me. Forsake me not, my God of deliverance.
Though my father and my mother leave me, Adonai will care for me.
Teach me your way, Adonai. Guide me on the right path to confound my oppressors.
Do not abandon me to the will of my foes, for false witnesses have risen against me, purveyors of malice and lies.
Yet I have faith that I surely shall see Adonai's goodness in the land of the living. Hope in Adonai, be strong, take courage, and hope in Adonai. Le'ulei hamanti l'ropetuv Adonai be'eretz chaim, kaveh el Adonai, chazak v'yametz libecha, v'kaveh el Adonai. This week we continue observing Shloshim for Randy Miller. This week we observed the following yard sites: Nathan Kaplan, Saul's brother; David Wolf, Barbara Levin's son, Ann Island, Ed's sister-in-law, Sylvia Finn Gerstein, Ron Poland's aunt, Mildred Topolowski, grandmother of Jason Solov, Charlotte Blackman Fish, Francis's mother, Pauline's cousin, Susan Margot Bro, Henry and Betsy's daughter, Harold Kagan, Frida's husband, father of Scott, Drew, and Brent, Albert Schlossberg, related to the Macinters, Rose Kaplan Teplis, Beatrice Bear Weil, Richard's mother, Evelyn Weil, wife of Marty. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us always, and may they all rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemech rabbah, v'alma divrach kirutei, v'amlik malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah v'vorach le'olam l'omeo maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shmei v'kudusha b'richu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. V'amiram v'yalma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'rumav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. All right, friends, we are almost done with our final evening service, East Shabbat evening service of the year. A couple of quick announcements. Services tomorrow morning at 10, Sunday morning at 9. And then, it's the high holidays, right? So let's see, Monday evening, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, you'll have gotten emails or continue to get emails with the times and the links and everything. So that's it for the week, really, is Rosh Hashanah. And so may it be a sweet new year for us all, filled with blessings and good things. We'll close out with Adon Olam, page 321. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'et nasa b'chefso kol Azai melech shemo nikra, v'acharei kichlot hakol, levahado yimloch nohora, v'hu haya, v'hu hoveh, v'hu yiyeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'ein sheni, l'hamshilo l'hachbira, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Velo Haos, Vehamisra, Vehu Eli, Vechai Goali, Vetzorchev Li, Beitzara, Vehu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi, Biomekra, Biahado, Avkid Ruchi, Be'eti shan v'ayira v'im ruchi geviati Adonai li v'lo ira. Let's see who says hello to us. And I want to say hello to a couple of people, to Beth in Brooklyn, to Aaron and Patty Ann in Brooklyn, to Jenny Bro, Shabbat Shalom and sweet New Year greetings. Thank you, Jenny. Same to you. Donna Wilson, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Nope. That's it. Have a good Shabbat, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. We'll see you soon. Be careful out there.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, everyone.